Good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful morning, evening, or night in your time zone. It is the 26th of October in my time zone. This is a short energy update. I will speak about the harmonics of the day. I'm going to tune into the event and some messages that I've been wanting to come through. And I also have a personal update. Okay, so it's the 26th of October in my time zone. Hello, welcome. And today the moon is still in Taurus. We just had the full moon in Taurus. It's still in Taurus. Hi, welcome, AA, BBB. And now the moon is getting smaller and smaller. Taurus is about questioning also like how we're going to make money, how we're going to move forward in life. The numerology day today is number 2, which is connected to the moon, connected to the teacher, connected to our soul, the feminine way, our feelings. And it's a great day to weigh out decisions, to find balance and harmonize your life. Not a day to perhaps make hasty decisions, but really just look at your life and see, weigh out those decisions, see what areas need balance and how to bring balance into your life. And the sun is still in Scorpio, so that, or just been moved to Scorpio, which is water, which is also connected to our ego, the dying of the ego, moving forward of the ego, also connected to death, wills, legacies. Transformation is connected to Pluto, which is about great transformation, great force. So just intuitively going, hello, welcome Angela. Just intuitively talking about these days and what's been coming in. So I've been speaking about 9/11. We've been going through a transition to the 22nd of October, which was all about, hello Mag, which was all about, you know, what's wrong in the world. We see all the darkness in the world. Okay, all the darkness from under the carpet in the world that we've been, you know, hiding away is coming to light. So we realize, okay, something's got to happen. Hopefully by the end of the end of October, you started to realize, oh, you're part of this. There is a special part for you. You may not know exactly what you're supposed to do or what your path is, but you know that the first step forward is a different step forward, right? And right now with how the moon is going, we're going into towards new moon, and the new moon is going to be in Scorpio while the sun is in Scorpio. So this, guys, is all about the letting go of our ego, the dying of the ego that was overpowering our feminine side, if you will, overpowering our truth. So this is all about great transformation. So in these days we may be going through like really hardship and really questioning ourselves and really uncomfortable and really resistant. Because when we're dealing with those dark shadows, you know, our shadow self, our ego that we've built up all of our life, you know, put a lot of effort to make this hard shield and this hard ego that we've built up our whole life, and it's so good that it's so invisible to us. And all the darkness that we didn't want to deal with, we locked into this cage somewhere deep within us. And every time we get close to that cage and we want to heal and let that go, there's a lot of resistance in our ego. And that's absolutely natural. And sometimes we don't even know where the resistance is coming from. But it means that you're getting close and you're doing good stuff. The more resistance there is, the greater change that you can make, the greater leap, the greater growth you can make. And is it scary? Yes, it's scary. And so these days can be really confusing as you're going to that ego, as you're leaving pieces of yourself behind and moving forward to a new way, a different way, a way that perhaps most of the world doesn't do their thing. So that's also scary. And then for those of you who have been thinking a lot about death, and maybe leaving and all of these things, stay here, stay on board, because first of all, Scorpio is about death, and most of all it's about rebirth. It's about laying the ego down dying, putting that aside, and then rebirthing and celebrating a new way. So a lot of you may be picking up on the collective consciousness who is going through this. We are in Sun Scorpio that's going through this, and as we're moving to this new moon in a couple of weeks, these 2 weeks are all about letting go, all about the death, so that by new moon we can have rebirth after this new moon. So it can be a really testing time, and know that any thoughts that you are having within your mind, that it is it is separate, it is not particularly from you yourself. It could be as well, so check in with yourself, but there is more at hand astrologically in the world, and this is part of our growth. We want to move and change to a new world. We are ready for the event. We want things to be different. Well, before things can be different, we got to put away the old that's not serving us. We got to lay down everything that is not serving us right now, right here, so that we can make space for the new, right? If our if we want to make a new pie, we can't make a new pie if they're still in the pie pot, the old pie. We gotta, you know, eat that or give it away or give it to, you know, the dogs. And then there's an empty pie dish where we can start to bake and create a new pie. But if that dish is not empty, there's no space for the new. So, you know, everyone's wishing to move forward and go to the new and the next thing, but the thing is, there's just right here, right now. All there is now. There truly is no past and there is no future. There's just right now. And every time that we are worrying and thinking about future, we are not here. And every time we're thinking about our past traumas and stories, we're not here right now. And it's okay to think about past and future. I'm not saying don't ever think about it, but if we're constantly thinking too much about the past or the future, we're not right here, right now. So we can let go of those attachments, slowly let go and come to this moment here, which is all about just letting go. Yes, pie. Which is all about letting go. Letting go right here, right now. I often receive questions like, what is my purpose? Where am I supposed to go? What am I supposed to do? And many times those people, they literally get answers. It's like, well, right now, all you're supposed to do is heal and, you know, get ready with your foundation, clean your house and do this and that. And the answer they get is never good enough, because the next day they're like, oh, I don't know what to do. Where am I supposed to be? What's my purpose? And it's like, well, you just got told to just rest and be good, and then the next piece of information will come. And the next day they'll be like, oh no, I gotta go out there and find my purpose. So really, if we don't be still in the moment, we can't truly receive the answers that we are getting all the time, constantly. And just because the answer that you receive wasn't the one that you expected doesn't mean it's the right answer. So many times, people that I'm working with, they're receiving, just be still, don't do 1,000 things at once. You're going to be healing with women, and that's what's coming up. But right now you're going through a transitional period. It's good to just lay low and just to do self-healing, etc., etc. And they get all the answers, and the next day they're off running around with their heads cut loose, trying to look for a different answer because that answer wasn't good enough for them. So if you're trying to make a stronger bond with your higher sources and you're receiving answers, but you're just ignoring them, then how can you ever expect to have straight and clear guidance if the guidance that you receive is not good enough and you just ignore it? It's just like, you know, when you go outside in your intuition and something just tells you like, ooh, I should take the shortcut to school today. But you decide to take the long route for school because you wanted to see the pretty trees. And then you took the long route and there's a car crash and now you're late to school. And then you go to yourself, oh, I should have listened to that intuition, that voice that told me to take the shortcut. Well, that's what keeps on happening. People are getting the advice, and then they look at the advice, they throw it behind them, and they're like, oh, I just don't know what to do. I have no idea. But you were told subtly but it wasn't maybe what you wanted to hear, what your ego wanted to hear. And that's why it's so good to constantly remind ourselves every day what we're doing. Every day, give yourself a reminder. Why am I here? What am I doing? Write it down. Write it down on a piece of paper so you can see it every day. For this month, I'm resting. For this week, my concentration is on building my strength. For this 2 days, it's all about trust. Whatever it is, every day. This is why every day personally I tune into the harmonics of the day, astrology of the day, energies of the day, what my lessons are of the day, of the week, of the month, and I tune into that and look at that and depict it on a daily basis, so that every day when I'm done with my morning practice, I know exactly kind of where I'm coming from and what my task of the month, week, and day is, and where I'm concentrating my energy into. Yes, so this has just been coming through a lot because a lot of people are excited about this event coming, but the thing is, the event is also now. That is just a peak event, and all of this, what we're doing this moment right now, right here, is part of it. If we're not going through this transformation, then how can the world transform? We are not separate from Mother Earth, we are not separate from each other, we are not separate from higher realms. So if we want to see transformation, we literally have to go through this ugly transformation ourselves. We have to sit through the uncomfortableness. So I have right here on this whiteboard, I have a whole talk that I will be doing here in an hour or so. And it's all about transformation. We're going to talk about, you know, what is transformation, how to help the process of transformation in nature, how we see transformation in nature, how it's normal, or how it's kind of works with the laws of the universe, how we can speed up this process, what the ego is, what the dying of the ego is, and what importance. The ego is very important. We need the ego too. So we're going to talk all about those things, and hopefully we're going to give you some tips about what may be beneficial for you during this time. Okay, I'm just going to tune in and see if there's any other messages for right now, right here. So again, I'm not sure if I mentioned this in the previous video, but transformation is, great transformation comes when we go through the uncomfortableness. So just like if we're in a yoga asana, we're in a position of yoga, and you know there's always that one yoga position, if you do yoga, or a stretch that you dislike because it's so painful, but you know it's good for you because your hips are tight, and every time you do that it's painful, and you know you don't have a lot of function in your hips, and you know it's good for you, and you probably don't do it, although you know it's good for you, but you just don't do it. You do the easy stretches because they're comfortable and they're easy. Well, that's what transformation is. We're going to do the difficult asanas, the uncomfortableness, you know? And as we do those stretches, it's so uneasy, it's so painful, it's so horrible. But after doing it every day for, 5 minutes, after a week, we start to see change, massive change, transformational change. Change that we've never been able to move our hips that way. We've never been able to touch the ground in our life before. And actually that change goes way faster than we think. So for those of you who's ever done training, etc., yoga, or any other types of, martial arts whatsoever, you'll see when you train yourself, we learn really, really fast. But we got to sit through that uncomfortableness. And soon we'll realize that that same position, that same stretch, that same asana is really comfortable. And we can do it very easily. And wow, we just make great leaps of changes. And that's what our transformation for our body, mind, and soul level is also about. Sitting through the uncomfortableness, sitting through the fears, the anxiety. You're going through fear and anxiety, lay there. Don't do your avoidancy habits. Don't go out for food, drinks, whatever you used to do. And just sit there. Put your hands on your heart. Breathe through it. Know that it will pass, because you know it's going to pass. Every time after you've had an anxiety, a bad moment, worry, anger, you've always had another moment that you're going to be happy, right? There was always a next moment, a memory that you had that you were then playing with your friends or something. There's always, it goes up and down. There's always a cycle there. So trust that this too shall pass. Sit through it, breathe through it. Tell yourself loving things. Anyway, so we'll talk more about that in the next video. I just want to apologize for the last couple of weeks. It's been so hectic in my area, in my home situation. And so I think I may have reflected in my presence in my videos, and I'm happy to be fully back and have more space and time available, as well as a lot of my technical issues are starting to be resolved. And thank you all just for the love and support and being interactive with me, and sharing your stories with me, and your words of gratitude and love have been so heartwarming. And most of all, thank yourself for just being you and doing what you're doing. And keep on going, keep on shining your light, even in those moments of darkness when you don't know why you're doing this, but deep inside you know on a soul level that you're here for a reason, and it's time for transformation. We want to see the world change. We have to start with changing ourselves and transforming from the inside to the outside. Right? All right. I wish you all a beautiful day, and I will be going live at 10 a.m. my time, Bangkok time. That's in about a couple of hours. So maybe join me then, and maybe not. All right. Bye. Mwah. Lots of love. Take care.